got a little project today. I went through and I basically bought a lock, tank cap, and trunk set, all keyed to the same, from eBay, China deal. And you can see that my connector is quite a bit different. It's still just three wires. Geez, I'm having a hard time thinking here. But the stock has got a lot longer wire set. So what I'm actually going to do, instead of splicing and cutting and resoldering and trying to make the new one work with the old, I'm actually going to swap out half parts. And what I mean by half parts is, on the old one, I already took the cap off. It's got 3 bolts or screws in here. Once you take those off, the switch disconnects from the harness. Did the same thing on the new one. Take out the 3 screws, pull the harness off, and then now I can just stick the new switch on the new harness. It's going to be slightly off, I think, just because of the... Watch, I'm going to go and prove myself wrong here. Well then. The old one switched in there real easy. So it's done forgot. Oh, there it is. Mess with the... Actually, I think it might be the width of the switch here is not wanting it. Well, it should be the same. Five 5/16 wide on the new one. The old one's 5/16 wide too. So should just slide right in, but for whatever reason, and maybe it's because on the old one there's a slight indentation here, here, and here. That's where this one, that indentation is not as prevalent. So, and you can see the wear marks from the old switch on the old terminal or old harness. You can see that it might need that. So what I might be able to do And I happen to think that even though when I ordered this, it said that this is the one I got in China, would fit my bike. But I'm now starting to think that, and I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on it, maybe this is a European model set, because just looking at the harness end of it, at the terminal, the old one, it goes to the right, and the newer one goes to the left. The trunk lock was the same way, is that the latch part, when I put it on the bike, it was 180 from where it needed to be. So I have no doubt that this should work, but it's currently not set up to do so. So I wonder, I might end up having to see, and it's even I don't know if this, so what I'm going to end up doing, it's the old, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's just a little bit of a roll in the middle there. I don't know if that's part of the cast or the cut when they did that. I might just sand that down, thin it out just a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Wrong way. Looks like I got a little bit more to go. Just going a little bit at a time because I definitely don't want to take too much off to where it then causes a bunch of slack. Yeah. And there we go. Alright. So all that being said, wrong ones. Thought this was going to be a much more difficult job. What I might end up doing as well, if it's even worth it at some point in time, I go take the old one, take that to a locksmith, take my other spare key for the new one. See, and even these are case sets even backwards, so, or 180 from this. So I'm thinking that they sent me a European model one, but again, I don't know for sure, or maybe it's just backwards because it's a China deal. But anybody knows that answer and wants to let me know, I'd appreciate it. Other than that, get a little bit of there. I got me a new switch. Yeah. I don't know. Still quite a bit of gap in there. Don't really like that. That was easy enough. Well, for now, I'm going to run with this. Maybe get a chunk of rubber or something to lay on there to fill in that. I might even just use a little bit of caulk, rubber silicone. Still got the protective filament on here. I wonder. time I added quite a bit inside here to get it, to make sure get enough in there. Definitely make up the difference. It looks like it filled in much better. Except that little spot right there. Much better. I say that like I know what I'm doing. I don't. Alright, so get ready to get started, and the battery on this camera is dead. So I got started, and then let the battery charge up just a little bit. Gonna pick up where I left off here. So I took this back off, and then trimmed a little bit of the silicone out around there so it's not in the way of the key going in. And then I retaped just the edge, because when I pulled it off, just that little area didn't have quite enough the silicone covering it up. So I taped it back off just so it didn't leak past. Put a little bit more silicone in there and then put the cap back on. So once that little bit is dry, I'm going to call it good and put the switch back on the bike. But as you can see, it filled in the space quite nicely, and it only looks ugly when you get close to it. So see, it's pretty ugly. Once it's on the bike, probably won't even notice it. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So alright, I'll be back after I need to finish it up. So alright, so it's the next day. I go in and took the tape off, a little added piece of silicone in there. Turned out well. I even tried to shave off a little bit of the lump. I don't know how much you'll be able to see that, but it sticks out just a little bit, but it's really flexible, and my knife didn't want to trim it out, so I'm going to leave it as is because it's good enough for me. Everything works well. So, well, it works well until I get on the bike and try it out for real. Gonna call this so far good to go and go put it back on the bike. Do some video editing for the merging of the ignition switch, and I screwed some footage up, so I figured I'd just come out here and do a new ending. So as you can see, got the switch back on the bike. Everything works, no issues. Lock works well. A little bit of remnant, still looks a little ugly, but I think overall it works really well for what I need it to do. And that's it. So another one in the book. All right, see you later.